Steve and Laura, our next panel here, we've got creator tools on ecosystem. So kind of keeping with the ecosystem support and ecosystem tools. Really excited for this one. All are kind of first in class, friendly competitors here on ApeChain. We're going to get a glimpse of some newer ones in the form of MintPad, and we've got our Blever you mentioned earlier, and we got Shiba King, and as well as Jake from Mintify joining us here. So looking forward to getting into our creator tools. Before we go into the details, maybe we'll get a quick quick introduction for the team members. You think?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go around the corn. Around the corn. Wow. Let's go around the horn. We're going to start with Jake, and definitely going to be interesting hearing Jake intro himself and Mintify instead of giving us a daily market update. Jake, GM.
Hey, GM. Thank you so much for having us and having me. I'm listening on the portal, so I hope that's correct, where there's no delay. Okay, good. Yeah, so thanks for having me. Awesome, awesome thing that you put on. ApeCon's been, great. I've been listening for the past little bit. Some really great speakers, and even more that we're on the, on the stage with right now. But I'm Jake, COO at Mintify. I've got a background in lots of data and analytics. I'm a big collector. I actually collect I'm a big Sublime fan, so I have a lot of physical memorabilia from the OG days. And that really set the stage for me to have a lot of interest in NFTs. So, being a physical memorabilia collector, I see the sentimental value of things that, I can become attached to through emotion with NFTs. And it really translates very nicely to between the physical and digital realms. And then with, my experience in data and analytics and, some trading of myself, it really all aligned very nicely to do something really awesome in crypto and NFTs. So that's when I stepped into Mintify. And Mintify, of course, we're not just an NFT marketplace. We're not just a token trading platform. We're kind of like everything. You can go and trade NFTs. You can go and trade tokens. But specifically for this, we've got an awesome creator launchpad where people can come in very, very simply. You share with us your information for your mint, and we get everything set up for you. We generate your contracts. We support you through co-marketing. We've got primary sale incentives, secondary sale incentives, and very soon you'll be able to mint NFTs on ApeChain with currencies on any other chain, including meme coins on other chains. So say you've got some Pangu on Solana, I guess is where they originally deployed. You'll be able to mint ApeChain NFTs with that Pangu meme coin on Solana. So really unlocking a lot of liquidity that is held in some assets, speculative assets, maybe assets that people have big bags in from, getting in early, and enabling them to go ahead and, interact with NFTs, not just on the primary side, but also on the secondary side. So, a big thing that we're doing is making it very easy for people just to engage with NFTs, no matter what chain they're on, no matter what chain their currency in their wallet is on. And soon we're doing even more beyond that. Things like abstracted user accounts, one-click purchases, Mint AI, which is coming to ApeChain. So much more. I'm not going to dive too deep into that because I know the focus here is on the creator tools. So yeah, we've got a great product, and we're constantly adding more to it. But I'd absolutely love to, I don't want to take too much time from the whole stage for my intro. Definitely want to hear from everybody else.
Cool. Let's go ahead and hit up MintPad next. I will go I will give favoritism to those on camera. GM, how's it going? Feel free to give yourself an intro and talk a little bit about MintPad.
Yeah, GM. Thanks, Captain, for dealing with me here. I didn't think I'd be able to make it. I thought I was going to be on daddy duty, so just happy to.
And I should add, I know you gave me that disclaimer. If you got an issue or an emergency you need to take care of, just throw us aside, and no worries. So I appreciate your flexibility in joining us despite the daddy duty today. But yeah, good to connect.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for being flexible. Thanks for inviting me. I guess really quickly, I got into NFTs a little over 4 years ago. Most people know me as the founder of DogePound. I started DogePound NFT, and I was helped a lot of early collections launch like Neo Tokyo. I was part of the team that acquired Pudgy Penguins. Just been heavily into NFTs in the last 4 years. And we started MintPad kind of as a fun internal tool, I would say around 2.5 to 3 years ago. It was just this fun internal tool that we hosted in DogePound because we got sick of always having to ask our developer, like, hey, if we want to, do some sort of like POAP style NFT or give something away to the community, how can we do this in some sort of easy easy solution. So it started there just on L1 ETH. And then in the last 2 years or so, that's kind of when we branched out and started supporting all sorts of EVM-based chains. I don't know, to date, I think we support over 100 or so different EVM-based chains, but ApeChain has definitely been, in the recent months, definitely one of the more successful chains that we've worked with, just as the creator economy here is really, really good. So yeah, I'll stop there for now. Just happy to be here, and I appreciate it, guys.
Cool. We're gonna go. We'll go to Kaz next, only because Kaz has the most. When I met Kaz in person, and I know you're not on camera right now, but I didn't realize that Kaz's PFP matches him in at least the hair department. There is some big, wonderful, luscious hair sitting on that head. Sorry, Minpad, didn't mean to go your direction on that one. And with the hair, not fair.
I didn't know where you were going with this with Kaz, and you start like you were going to compare him to his Goblin PFP, and I'm like, dude is a good-looking guy. You somehow managed to pull that off pretty well, I guess.
Oh no, yeah, no, it was just the hair. Kaz is a man rocket, but the hair itself is is out there. So no, appreciate you. And now that we sufficiently glazed you, good GM, give us a little background on Blever.
Good morning, everyone. What a pleasure to be here with so many awesome people. So I'm Kaz. I'm the one of the co-founders of Blever. There's three of us, so I'm by no means the sole force behind it. So Blever is, like many of the great other products here, also a launchpad. We're a little bit different in the sense that we're like focusing on just doing one thing very, very well. Not that the other people here don't do it well, but we're just like trying to drive all of our force into doing one thing and like sort of like maximizing and extracting the most that we can do out of that, right? We want to see how far we can take just being a launchpad and creating tools that help creators, release NFTs and other things that we have in the works. So I think one of the things we actually it was cool that somebody touched on this earlier, the cross chain execution from Relay. That product is awesome. We're getting ready to roll out that as well, where you can mint with anything. I think OpenSea already does that, where you can like buy an NFT with currencies from any chain. And Relay, the folk at Relay have done such a good job with that product. It's like it's so easy to implement, and stuff like that is really cool for bringing liquidity from other chains. Sort of, I don't want to, yeah, I guess I'll leave it there for the intro. I don't want to take up too much time, but we can dive more into all sorts of different tools that we're trying to create later, I guess, in the panel.
Awesome.
Yeah, works perfectly.
Steve, I'll let you take it to Shiba. Of all the people that are not going video, I thought for sure we'd get to see Shiba's smiling smile this morning. There he is. GM Shiba, tell us, for those that haven't connected with you yet, give us the quick intro.
What up? I think we lost the space. Is it just me? But
yeah, we completely lost the space. It rugged.
Yeah, it rugged. So maybe I don't know if you wanted me to just continue or we just do some conversation to get that back up or whatever you want to do. I'll jump in. I'll just start with who I am. What up? It's good to see everybody here. Shout out to Mint and shout out to Blever. It's good to see everybody and great space so far. I've been listening all morning. So shout out to all our friends and communities that are building and a part of that giveaway. But everybody most knows me. I've been here since like almost 4 years now in NFTs. 2017, I got into crypto. I've deep dove into the ETH communities for a while now, and I made my way over to Yuga, getting my first doggo, Moonbird, and now a Bored Ape. So I'm hands in on AIOW and what we're doing here on ApeChain. The last few months have been absolutely wild here on ApeChain, and so I had the pleasure to work with AIOW for about 3 years. They came out with their launch pad around October, November of last year. And we're really focusing on turning from just like being a launch product to being more of a hands-on type of thing. So I do spend a lot of time with people that end up launching or building. We have a set up affiliate team where we have about 10, 12 people that not only host spaces, but that are on constantly and give a platform for either pre-builders or builders that are having mints that are happening like live or even after a mint. We offer like the platforms to join the communities that are already launched here on ApeChain and some other chains. We do offer Ethereum, Sol, and Polygon. We're about 99% focused on ApeChain right now. It's most of where our creating is. We do have communities over on Sol that have some products too. Shout out to the Fat Rats, but we do main on ApeChain, and we've gotten an amazing feedback from a lot of the different communities. Some other founders that are present here on our like just some visuals and some stuff on our website, and we really look forward to creating with these individuals over the next few months and kind of give them that that one-on-one representation that they kind of need getting in here. A lot of people are new to this. I think a lot of people are still new to creating NFTs and products, and most of these teams are like 1 or 2 people. They don't have any funds. They don't really know what they're doing. They don't really like even creating an NFT. It's a step-by-step process, which most of the time it's done for like the launchpads do it for them. So we do a step-by-step process where we sit with our developers and our team and we walk you through it. And we just added music NFTs. So I'm a big music guy. I've been part of music NFTs since ETH. I worked with Violetta Zeroni, who's one of the most known people when it comes to music. And we've taken that whole industry and we've bought it not only to ApeChain, we bought it to AIOW, which allow the creators to create very efficiently, no upfront cost. And we work with them, teaching them how to build out their NFT projects instead of like doing it for them. So we've had a lot of good feedback about that because the artists and people investing appreciate the process of jumping into ApeChain. So I look forward to hearing about some other tools and stuff, but it's great to have you guys here, and shout out to everybody.
Yeah, I could go.
Just
Okay,
real quick, just housekeeping. Space did rug. Apologies, not sure what happened there. Video feed is still live on X on Steve's account as well as Abstract. I just spun up a new space. Laura and Steve are jumping in there now. Apologies for the Spaces rug, but the second one's up. If everyone that is listening in, even if you're on video, if you don't mind heading over to X and just give that space some love. If you can jump in there, that'd be great. If not, a retweet, a bookmark, a post would go a long way to help get it back out there for those that we lost. Sorry, Steve, go ahead.
No, I was gonna go. Let's go around with some specific questions, and we'll kind of hit the different groups here for different things that people, because we're trying to give people, creators, the opportunity. And I think Sheba hit on a first question there, so I was gonna kind of go reverse order, but I think he hit on a good job of talking about how you empower these individual small teams. So, Cause, I'll kick it to you over with Blever. You obviously launched ApeCoin, sort of initial home of a launch there, and have gotten moved on to a awesome multi-chain spot. If you are a, let's say, individual creator, and you are somebody who is trying to launch, how do you empower them to ensure that they have sort of the smoothest process? Because I feel like when you guys launched, it was like blubber all day. Everyone was kind of hitting everything, and it feels like it's a very seamless process. Talk about the process. If I'm creating and I'm trying to spin something up, if someone's listening today, what steps would they take?
So it starts with just like an initial talk. You can come to our Discord channel. We have a ticketing system that's automated. It'll present you with some of the sort of like screening questions and just some of the basic stuff that we'd like to get to know from you first before we decide if we can move on. And at that step, we'd like either decide to move forward with you or ask you some further questions, or maybe give you advice or like what you could work on if you don't feel like you're quite ready to launch a project. From there, if you get approved, what we do is we create a dedicated Discord channel for you in our server, and then we work out all the logistics. You work with our devs and our scheduling people, and we just sort of really hold your hand, walk you through like creating the metadata and creating the collection, deciding on supply. And some people come to us and they're like super ready and they know everything. They know exactly what they need to do, and they know what they want to do. And a lot of times they come to us with more of an idea, and like we have to just really teach them everything all the way through.
Makes sense to kind of have the option where it's like, look, if you know what you're doing, cool, we got you. If you don't know what you're doing, cool, we got you. And I think, is it a similar process on MintPad? If you're going on MintPad and you're trying to set up, and someone's listening today and saying, hey, we want to launch, what does that process look like for someone who's approaching and wanting to launch? Because you effectively built a tool out of necessity, and you said, hey, this kind of could work for everybody.
Yeah, I guess our take on it is slightly different. We're definitely not as hands-on as a team like Blever. They're more of a curated experience, and they've done an awesome job. I love the guys at Blever. MintPad, my philosophy has always been, let's make tools that are open to everyone to participate and use and build whatever you want to do. We will hold your hand, but I would say it's not as much of a hand-holding process as Blever. So ideally, we'd like people to come in and MintPad, and if our solution, our tools work well, you can get through the whole process without us having to necessarily hold your hand. But there's still a lot of things that we have to work on where people are getting stuck or there's confusion, among certain different processes of what you're trying to build. So that's just where our approach is a little bit different. I think both are very much needed, especially in an ecosystem like ApeChain, where you have a lot of creators. That's always been my belief, is try and make the tools as accessible as possible.
Yeah, and Jake, I'm curious on that. If there's challenges you see when people launch, you know, on Mintify, when they're trying to, again, a creator like we, you know, we it was smooth for us today. We set up a page, we launched it off, and we've had, you know, 300 plus mints since it started. By the way, if people haven't looked, we'll pin that back up top to the space for those who have made it back into the space now that we rugged. You know, 386 mints so far. So far so good as far as what we're doing on a free little mint. But what are some common things you think are people's issues they might run into when they're trying to spin something up? Oh, you're on mute, Jake. Oh, Jake, you're on mute. I do it all the time. I do it all the time.
No, I appreciate that greatly, because I would have kept talking. Yeah, no. So some of the most common issues are typically just you know, learning the ropes. You know, understanding how these things work, figuring out, you know, the best prices, and, you know, what allow list maximums. You know what I mean? It's really like the parameters of how they want to run their NFT sale. And a lot of these creators, you know, they're some of them are first time launchers, some of them aren't. Those that aren't, you know, and they have existing ecosystems and whatnot, they're already very familiar. They just, you know, they submit the form, they get us their information, and it goes live. Like you guys, you know what I mean? Like, you knew what you wanted, you submitted the form, and it went live. But there are, you know, some cases where people need a little bit more handholding. They need explaining how things work, understanding, you know, when somebody mints, you know, this is what happens, this is where you get your money, stuff like that. So realistically, it's more about education, I think, than anything. Of course, there are always things where, like, somebody's like, "Oh, I thought it worked this way," which at the end of the day comes back to, you know, the education side of things. So do think that that, you know, the majority of those things are rooted in you know, just the complexity of the space, and how things are just on a higher level for NFTs. But I know that you know, Mintify is tackling lots of different ways of improving that for the user. I'm sure that, you know, MintPad and Blever as well are doing that, in Shiba. I'm not sure what exactly your product is called, but I'm sure you guys are all have this in mind, that, you know, things are just a little bit too complex for new users and new creators to jump in and launch collections without having to go through some kind of education. And it's definitely very important from the product side that it's made very easy for these creators to jump in and understand very easily. And ideally, you know, make it similar to something that they might have experienced in the traditional, you know, Web 2 world, maybe Shopify or whatever it might look like. So yeah, no, it's definitely a priority to, you know, guide people that are new to the space with some education. And then otherwise, I mean, a lot of the creators have had you know, extremely smooth you know, smooth processes. They share their information, wallet checker mint page goes live, and you know, that's it.
Yeah, and Shiba, I want to go back to you. And by the way, appreciate Raheem and Vera. We're running just a titch behind, had a couple tech issues early on, but we will definitely get on to our networking panel here in the next 5 to 7 for sure. So hang tight with us. But Shiba, I want to go your way next, because I remember you talking about this a little bit on our show, is that you are trying to solve a tangible problem and make it sort of out of the box white glove treatment so that people are able to get things launched. Do you find that most people sort of need that extra level of support? Do they come in with a plan in mind and they're just like, get out of the way, Shiba King? Like, what happens here?
I think what everybody said up on the stage, it really depends on the builder. I think we all of us here as Launchpads, we offer that same platform where it's like, if you're a creator and you want to come by and launch, we offer you that launch part. And if you're ready, you're ready. And if you're not, we can help you. I think everybody here just does it a little different. The two different services, comparing like Blever to Mint here, and then I think AOW fits a little bit on Mint. We entice everybody to come and create. There's no like bridge. There's not really an accepting or not accepting. We allow you to make the product. To launch is the next steps, and we let you launch, but the assistance that you get from the community are like the Spunky Holders, because Spunky Holders is the NFT project that's attached to our Launchpad, which a lot of rewards that come through our Launchpad goes to those holders, and it's one of the only pads that have that right now. And it allows users to get both ends. So you can either come and build, and we can walk hand by hand with you, but you need to offer that transparency. I need to be able to talk to you and have a conversation. I need to be able to, I'm not saying mandatory video chat, I need to know your first and last name, but I need to have this more than once. I need you to be able to come into a space, speak to people, pitch your product, and not just offer something and launch it. We've seen that enough for the last few years. Doesn't matter what chain you're on. If people want products to succeed and not just be another art piece launching, they need to kind of show investors and people that are buying it that they're not just a piece of art. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think NFTs baseline art is great. Community is great, but there needs to be a little bit more. And it's not just me that wants that. It's the people that are launching and the people that are buying the stuff that want that. There are tons of artists on ApeChain that have created and made a product, and I'll use Zars as an example because they were here, that have really done a good job, not only sustaining a community, but helping partner with other products and help launch them, you know? So it's really nice to see that. So I think you get both ends, and it really depends on the builder. And I think we try to offer that white glove service because they kind of get that one-on-one with me, the team, the founders, and then we trickle that down into our affiliates, the guys that host the spaces, offering that platform. That platform's there. Those creators, the guys that are minting and having a product, have a choice to come to those stages. If they don't come to the stages, people are not going to mint, and that's simple. And it doesn't really matter where they launch. So the more that those founders put in on the one-on-one and come to the communities, I think the more success they will have. It doesn't matter what launchpad they use.
Right on. Well, I guess like let's go around the horn with one last question. I'll ask the same question to everybody, and then we will let you get out of here. Appreciate you jumping with us this morning because I think these are like this is. I mean, I'll say before I kind of ask the question, you all offer the most important, valuable tool that we were missing in the past 4 years, which was we just did not have a way to seamlessly do this. So it was almost sort of gated to certain people with the finances or the tech know-how. And now it is making it a square space to launch NFTs, which I think is so important for the future of what people do. I'll start with Kaz again. What, like, I guess, anything else you want to tell us before we let y'all get out of here? But also building on, you know, like an added question on that, which is, what is one piece of advice you would give to somebody who is looking to launch something in the near future from all the different groups you've worked with?
I think the biggest piece of advice I can give creators that are looking to launch an NFT is really to like ask yourself, what is your intention, right? So like, what's your intention with this project, and like have that really nailed down. Like from that, like everything else will come from that. Like, because I would say the biggest mistake, or like not necessarily mistake, like the biggest rate of like failure I see is people that will come in and try to launch something just to launch something, and they don't really have an idea of what they're doing. Like it'll be, you know, we're working with some projects sometimes that it'll be the day of their mint, and they're like, how should I do this allocation? It's like, oh, do you think I should like they'll ask certain things that I'm like, you should have been thinking about this like 2 months ago. Like that, why are you here? Like, so I think if you have intention and you're like building something with the right intentions, everything else just falls into place.
Awesome. Go over to Minpad. Same question. One piece of advice you would give to anybody who is looking at launching something from the folks that you've seen launch things, and any other information you want to share before we let you go.
Yeah, I don't know. I think kind of to piggyback on what he just said as well. I mean, maybe to kind of champion ApeChain and ApeCoin a little bit. It's definitely probably one of the few ecosystems that we've worked with, and like I said lately, that really has a very creator-centric ecosystem. And I think if you have good intentions, it's ApeChain is definitely a great place to be. So again, if you can come in here with good intentions and build up your audience, I think sometimes I see creators also like they try to do things too quickly. I think you should be able to tell, right, like by how people are engaging with your project or yourself as a brand, if it's really ready to be launched and has that level and quality that the ecosystem is looking for. So I think if you can do that and you can utilize, this is also a testament of how well ApeChain is doing, that we have all these creator tools here. I can tell you that we've been on a lot of other ecosystems where there's just a lot less infrastructure. It shows you here that like people are really taking it serious. So I think take advantage of the resources you have here and take it serious, and you'll do well.
Jake, same question your way. You know, advice you would give to creators, and anything else you wanted to know about Mintify.
Yeah, I mean, advice to creators, definitely have like a game plan. Have an idea of like, you know, where you think you want things to head, like, you know, after mint. It's not just it's not just get your NFTs out there and hope that people mint. A lot of people definitely are more on the side of focusing on the launch and then thinking about what comes next after. And when you think about the whole thing and get it laid out, at least in like a roadmap, it definitely will help in terms of the entire execution of the launch itself. Your language and how you set the stage for what you're building and everything like that. So definitely think that's super important. And also just taking your time with it. Like it's not a good idea to rush things. You definitely want to make sure that you're putting it out there when you're ready to, when your community is ready to, and that you've cultivated that community who shows real interest beforehand. Definitely very important. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up to put the mint out there and then only get a couple mints and then you're disappointed. And if you had just crafted it all up in advance, it definitely supports a lot of the actual launch and then everything that goes on from there. So that's my thought. I mean, it's definitely incredibly nuanced. I mean, there's so many different things that I could recommend to a creator based on what they're creating, whether it's art based or if it's like a PFP or if it's a gaming asset drop. I think the most broad advice in terms of that is really like picture what you see this finalizing as in your head and try and run with that in terms of like your execution of everything. So definitely think that looking at it in like a really macro perspective would help a lot. And there's already a lot of great artists and creators that do that as it is. But yeah, as for other stuff that I think people should know, we're of course always cooking up lots of different stuff at Mintify. We've got a bunch of feature improvements and additions that are coming to our launchpad specifically. As mentioned earlier, very soon be able to mint across pretty much any chain with your meme coins and other chains with your even on Solana and eventually possibly even Bitcoin. You'd be able to mint like on ApeChain with. And then even more like we're probably going to have a self-serve option where anybody can come in and just set up their mint on our front end where you don't need to work directly with the team. If for something like this, you'd be able to come in, spin it up super fast. You don't need to go back and forth with the team to get it set up, and just put it out there really, really easily on your own without any code needed. So those are some things that we're cooking up for the Launchpad. And I guess I could tease a little bit more on the Mint AI that is coming to ApeChain. It's going to definitely buff the Launchpad experience itself, like being able to explore what's currently minting on ApeChain, get some information about the projects that are minting. You could query it and say like the last X number of projects that launched on ApeChain. If something gets listed at this price or with this trait, buy it on my behalf automatically. So lots of really fun stuff that's going to really empower both the primary experience on ApeChain and secondary experience, and maybe even a mix of in between.
Awesome. Well, that said, like Shiba, we'll let you get the final word in here. Just like old times. Get your any other thoughts on what you would advise before we let everyone get out of here? What would you final advice for creators? You have these tools. We have 4 absolute awesome tools being shared on stage. If you haven't checked them out, you should if you're a creator. But Shiba, final thoughts or one suggestion you would give or thing you would tell creators who are looking to create?
I would definitely focus on having a game plan that's not just plan A. A lot of NFT projects and a lot of founders, when I talk to them, I'm like, so what happens if the mint is slow, if you have issues, or like, what's your plan if it drags on for a month? And they're like, it's going to mint out in 24 hours. I'm like, okay, what happens if it doesn't? So I entice these people that are building to, like you said, take their time when launching. I think everybody here agrees. There's no need to rush anything when it comes to price. Especially price is always varies on the market. Definitely have a team assembled, and if you don't, go around, especially on ApeChain. ApeChain has a lot of people, not only AOW with our affiliates, but there are a lot of people that host spaces that are not a part of any launchpad, that are not a part of any project. They're just an individual person that would help a project launch, that have like a voice, can help relay information, just kind of like where I started. I was just somebody who was told to speak and was like, this is what we're doing, and next thing you know it, I'm off on every space. So you have to have a game plan, a plan A, plan B, in case things don't work out. And I think this will help a lot of artists get through some of the beginning steps of launching. And remember, launching an NFT project, it's supposed to be an enjoying process. It's not supposed to be stressful. If it's stressful, you didn't prepare enough. You have a great team across every launchpad here. And the fact that they're all here on camera really shows something, because I've known a lot of these communities and founders. I just have not get to meet them. So if you have this type of transparency, imagine what kind of relationship you can have with them if you spend time in spaces, meeting them, and not just DMing them and be like, I want to launch. So that would be my main thing. And then if you are coming to AIOW, we have a demo process. We let you like visualize and see how you build out an NFT. It's like a 10-15 minute. You could jump in Discord and ask for it. And I'm here literally 24/7. If I'm not an AI bot, I don't know, maybe I have to upgrade my software, but I'm here all the time. And we have a great team behind us. So if you need help and you know absolutely nothing, I feel like AIOW is the best place to start out for at least the information.
You're muted, Steve, but how like double tapping on all that. And then also the fact that we've got 4 teams, 4 creator tool competitors, all joining us together on a space, sharing how they can help, supporting them, having the opportunity to have worked with most of them or interacted with all these individuals at one point or another. I wanted to hit on that real quick, and then I'll hand it back to you, and you can take us home here for this session. But I don't know how many ecosystems you find this where it is truly more collaboration over competition. I feel that's more than just a cheesy catch line.
Yeah, no, definitely appreciate all 4 of you for jumping up and giving these insights today. Always really great insights for the people who are listening. I'm sure a lot of valuable insights, and now having that one more person they know they can reach out to if they are launching something to continue to move things. It's part of the goal here today. So thank all 4 of you for coming here today. We do appreciate it greatly for carving out the time, and I'm sure we will have all of you at various times back on the show, because we have before, and I'm sure we will again. So thank you very much, y'all.